Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Thank you. Oh, good morning, everybody. I ain't even see the names right though. Thank you. That's why. That's what? Oh, that's white guy. Good morning. Ahora. Hello. I think Ahora. Did I say that right? Y'all make sure y'all hit the thumbs to support this video. This video kind of like, y'all make sure y'all hit the thumbs up button when y'all come in. I have 10 people in here. Just support the video. Even if you don't stay, please support my video. Support my video, please. Thank you for the hearts. Support the video and myself, but mostly the video. Oh my God. How y'all doing with this time change? I was so messed up yesterday. My body was hurting yesterday, aching. I was aching, hurting. I had a headache. I was so tired. It was like my body just went in shutdown mode. I thought I wasn't going to make it through work yesterday. My body was hot. I thought I had a fever. But I think my body was going through withdrawals because I haven't been drinking coffee. Good morning, Rosalind. Three, mama, three something. I think my body was going through withdrawals because I haven't been drinking coffee because y'all know I'm on my little journey of trying not to spend money on coffee in the morning and just drink it. I didn't drink nothing, no coffee yesterday, but my body was really going through something yesterday. Oh my God, I felt horrible yesterday. I didn't know what was going on. I don't know if my body was trying to adjust to the time change or what. I got home and laid down. My eyes was closing. Like, I got to make it home. I was just giving everybody a few minutes to get on here, just doing a wellness check. How you all doing? Just want to know how your health, how your mental this morning, this week. How everything going with you? Game over. I like all them emojis. Thank you. Just how your week going. You know, sometimes you don't, nobody never check on you. So I'm asking you, I'm checking on you all, like how you're doing. How you feeling this morning? How your day going so far, you know? How your week been going? It's Tuesday. Hope you're, all is well on your end with you, your family. So I'm just checking in on everybody. How y'all doing? You know how you be. Nobody never asks me how I'm doing, you know, how I'm feeling. And sometimes we don't get that, especially when you're the strong person. When you're the strong person, you know that saying they think when you're the strong one, they think you're good. But sometimes, even though you're strong, you need uplift, especially after you don't pour it into everybody, you don't uplift everybody, you don't took all the phone calls from everybody, you've been that listening ear for everybody. But even in those moments, you still going through. Even when you're going through, you still helping others. You know, You still helping others, and you need somebody to pour back into you. Everything that you poured out, you need somebody to pour that back into you. So that's what I want to do this morning. Just pour back into you, hoping everything is okay with you. You know, put you first. Sometimes we selfish sometimes, and we want to put everybody. Now I ain't gonna say selfish, selfless. Let me change. Sometimes we're selfless because a lot of times we put everybody before ourselves, and we don't never check on ourselves. So you got to sometimes put you first, because you don't want to be sick. You don't want to, your health is very important, because you don't want to have them breakdowns, and you got to give yourself, your body going to tell you, hey, you need to slow down. And that's what I went through yesterday. My body telling me that I need to slow down, because my body crashed. When I got home from work, it crashed. But yeah, my little title is Life After Death. I was putting that title there because I was talking about a situation yesterday about my son had passed away, and I was talking about the young lady who, many of us, we see it every day when somebody has lost a loved one and they're going through, losing someone. But a lot of people don't know the scars that are left after you lose somebody. It seems like you're left to do everything on your own. That's just like me. I want to tell y'all kind of like the story, the backstory of like my son case. Like my son case was really botched. My son case and my nephew case was really botched, because not only was we against, we had to deal with the people that had something to do with unaliving them, but at the same time we had to deal with a corrupt police department. So during that time when my son was unalive, during the year that my son was unalive, we had a corrupt police department during that time. So my son case really flopped with evidence and things like that. So I was left to try to, put the pieces together. Sometimes it can be overwhelming. I don't been to the police department, the sheriff department, like all the faces and hands that were involved with the case. Those people have moved on. The detectives, half of them don't even live here anymore. They left the department. So it's like I'm left with like, nothing. Like nothing could be done. The new department, they seem to can't help me. So it's like basically like a roadblock. So I'm basically left with scars. So it's like a slap in the face, like a double slap. You don't get the help that you need. I didn't even find out till last year that my son case was closed. Like the same year that his life was taken, his case was closed out, because I finally went and got his paperwork. So I finally got the paperwork, and that's what the paperwork showed me, and went to the police department. And that's when they told me that they closed my son case out, because they felt like they didn't have enough evidence. So a lot of times, especially when you're dealing with homicides, the homicide cases are the hardest cases to prove something if the evidence is not there, and especially if you don't have nobody there to help you or support you. If they don't really have that's why they was like, you got a certain amount of time to get what you need. But what they don't tell you, the dark side to that, it's a dark side to it. The dark side to it, when they don't see what happened with my case, the dark side to my case, I didn't know that the department was corrupt. Our department was, a lot of corruption was in it, where the polices were, when they knew things, when they had their meetings and things, they would have their meetings, and they would go out and tell the guys in the streets, like if it was going to be a drug bust, they would tell them everything that would be going on. So a lot of our cases, in our community during that time from 2006. It was our police department, it was very corrupt, and a lot of families didn't get the justice that they needed because of that situation. And I was one of them, me and my aunt. So we got caught up in the corruption of, with the corrupt police department. So now I'm left, with the scars. That's why I was like, families are left with that. When my son was unalive, the detectives, nobody came to my house. Nobody said nothing to me. I didn't know nothing. When that happened to my son, in the midnight when that happened, I knew nothing. I didn't know anything. Nobody told me nothing. I only got a phone call. That's how I knew what was going on. And even after everything with my son, no detectives, nobody came to my house. Nobody asked me no questions. Only people that came to my house was the news press, was trying to get a story and was trying to make my son out of something that he wasn't. Like as if he was in a gang or something. I'm like, yeah, the people that was involved was gang members, but my son wasn't in the gang. He was just, an innocent bystander. So you definitely are left with scars. I have a lot of scars, but you know what? I got through it. I maintained. And I'm still, I'm still left with scars. I'm still left to deal with, not knowing after so long that they closed out my son case. I can't even get help through Crime Stoppers. And what a lot of families don't know, what they don't tell you, when you're dealing with Crime Stoppers, once they make an arrest, because for like about 16 years, I thought my son case was a cold case. I thought it was a cold case. I thought that when, even if you don't go to court, because I didn't know, like I said, I didn't know anything. I was a young mom that lost her son, and I was just trying to figure out life. I was trying to figure out life, life after death. I was trying to figure everything out, trying to stay on top of everything with my son's case. But what I did, court system, I thought my son's case was a cold case, but later found out that once they make an arrest, your case is not considered a cold case. And a lot of times, I really, sometimes I be wishing that they wouldn't have never made an arrest. The two people that they did arrest for my son, because of what I know now, and I want to let families know this. A lot of times, we be like, make an arrest, make an arrest. We be wanting them to arrest. Why they haven't arrest nobody? Why they haven't arrest nobody? I'ma tell y'all, if I knew what I know now, I would have preferred them to not even made an arrest with my son case. They thoroughly did their investigation, because case flopped through the justice system. Your case is no longer considered to be a cold case. And I later found that out. My son's case is not a cold case. So even when I tried to go through Crime Stoppers is like a kind of like a foundation where they help families try to help get an arrest made. So because I already had an arrest made, I can't get help through Crime Stoppers. So basically, I will have to do my own. Basically, I will have to do everything on my own. I will have to get my own flyers. I will have to be the one to say, go and say, hey, if I put this XYZ amount of money up. So right now, I don't get no help. And even though it's a homicide, they was like, the only way they would reopen my son's case. And people think because it's a homicide that they don't close cases. They do close your homicide case. They do close them. The only way your case will still be open if they never made an arrest. So once they make an arrest and they go through the procedures of the people to try to find them guilty to get them in court, that's what makes it an open case. But until then, it's not considered an open case. So I'm left to deal with all of that. Knowing 16 years later that the whole time I was thinking that my son's case was a cold case, and it never was a cold case. So his case actually got closed the same year that he was unalived in. I didn't know any of that. Like I said, I was a young mom. I didn't know anything. Nobody told me nothing. Nobody, came and said, hey, I was trusting in the department. I was trusting and believing in the detectives. I was trusting and believing in the state attorneys because I thought they was really working for me. I thought they was on my side, but they wasn't. They wasn't on my side. So I'm left with all of that. I'm left to deal with all of that to try to put the missing pieces together. Even when I go down there, it's like, oh, you need to go to the state attorneys. Then when I go to the state attorneys, oh, you need to go to the FMPD. It's like, oh, this case is so old, and all the people that's involved, we about don't know where any of these people at. It's crazy. So you're left to deal with all the trauma and all of, you left with a lot. Life, after death, you know what I'm saying? What your life gonna be? Life after death. What your life gonna be? You still left to deal with it. So psychologically, you know what I'm saying, you go through a lot. That's why I was saying with that young mom, she's still left to deal with all of that. She's, thank God that she got everything she needs. So they made an arrest, so they got everything. But with me, it was totally different. So every case is different. Every case is different. So I'm left to deal with so many things. Like, one day I want to really like sit down and really, really like, go piece by piece and really like tell my story. Because I really have a powerful story. I really have a powerful story. But yeah, I ain't doing nothing, y'all. I'm just thinking about my son's birthday coming up. Next one is my son's birthday. He would have been 37. And his life was taken so young, He was 18. Soon as he turned 18, within 24 hours, his life was taken. So I just take it one day at a time and just try to, tell myself that you're going to make it. You're going to get through it. I'm pushing through, y'all. I'm going to get through this. I just hate that I have to deal with it, how some people, when they lose their loved ones, they lose them like maybe months or years after their birthday. But with me, my situation a little different. I lost my son the day after his birthday. So it's kind of like leading up to his birthday. So I know like his birthday coming up. Then after I deal with his birthday, I have to deal with that his life was taken. So it's like, do I be happy or do I don't be happy? So, it's like, that's something, when I think about when I gave birth to him, when I give birth, and then knowing that they really took my baby life a day after his birthday. And they don't understand the scars and the trauma that they leave behind. The people that commit the acts and commit the crimes and do all the things, they don't understand the scars and the pain that, the families are left with. Like, even myself, I'm left, for all these years until God called me home, I'm left to deal with knowing that my son's life was taken the day after his 18th birthday. And I think that's what hurt me the most, that I lost him a day after his birthday. So sometimes it don't be easy for me, because when I want to have my good moments to celebrate, I have to celebrate his birthday. And then after I celebrate the birthday, then I have to celebrate the death. You know what I'm saying? And then in times I didn't want to celebrate the birthday because I thought about his death. I thought about his life being taken the day after his birthday. So previous years, I didn't even want to celebrate the birthday. There were years that I didn't want to do anything. I remember when I didn't even want to put a Christmas tree up. For years, I didn't even put a tree up. I didn't want to put a tree up. I used to just hand my girls their gifts because I didn't want to put a tree up. Hi, Chris. So yeah, I didn't even want to cook Thanksgiving. I didn't want to do anything. There were times that I just didn't even want to do anything. I didn't even want to come out the house because I knew I would see the people that was involved with, you know, killing my, not killing, unaliving. I didn't try to say that, unaliving my son. And then there are times that we have Easter, we have Easter parades. So can you imagine the people that's involved with unaliving your child? You see them during like holidays and MLK days and days like that, and knowing that they still walking free, and you see your son, the person that unalived your child, and you see them, you live with them, they're in your community, and they still walking the streets. You know how that feel like when you wanna retaliate, but you can't retaliate. But you still see the justice system wasn't even on your side when they know that they were the one that done it. But because the evidence, or because you didn't have nobody to stand up in court to say it was them, to have your one witness that was a family member, to have that one witness that was a family member that got spooked in jail and signed the paperwork where they wrote a paper, spooked them, and they wrote the paper and told and sent the paper to the state attorneys telling them that the two people that's involved with taking the life of his cousins, that it wasn't them. It wasn't them, and he didn't see them. And he flopped the whole case. Good morning, Vet. So it's one thing when you left with the scars, it's one thing when the people do it to you. But when you have a family member that well, he didn't write the letter. The guys was threatening him. Life was threatened. He didn't even tell me and my auntie that when he was locked up. He didn't even tell me and my auntie that God, I don't even want to cry about this. My cousin, he was like our witness. That was like the only witness we had. It was two guys already arrested. So they was threatening him, threatening his life, threatening his kids, baby mamas, and all of them. He never called home to tell us that while he was in jail that he was being threatened, that they were threatening him to do these things to him and his family. So they wrote a letter. They ponied the letter. Y'all know in jail they pony letters, however they kite letters. So a letter got kited to him. And they told him he signed it. So when me and my auntie, we went to, I'm gonna read your thing, that, give me a minute, y'all. So the letter that they wrote, the letter stated that the two people that were in jail for unaliving my son and my little cousin, it stated that those two guys were good citizens. I'm just saying that they were good citizens in the community and that they didn't do it. And my cousin stated that he didn't see them and he didn't want to send two innocent men to prison for the rest of their life. And he signed the paper. And those two guys walked. They released them from jail. Two of those guys are in black and white in my paperwork. One of the guys that's involved in unaliving my son is a blood relative cousin from my daddy's side of the family that was beefing with a cousin from my blood side on my mom's side of the family. My story is crazy, y'all. So my blood cousin on my dad's side was beefing with him. He got with his clique, his homeboys. They were beefing with my blood cousin on my mom's side. He linked up, my blood cousin on my dad's side linked up with an op. Came to my grandmother's house because they was beefing with my cousins and they had an altercation. It was an altercation going on. And after the altercation, they decided the night of my son's birthday, which nobody, I didn't knew that my son was gonna be there, but my son went to my grandmother's house that night of his birthday, and that's the night that they went there and shot up my grandmama's house. They shot up my grandmama's house, and so happened my son was there. But I'm gonna get more into it. I'm gonna be doing a lot of telling y'all my story about my son. But I just want to give y'all like an idea of like what kind of happened. And I had the one cousin signed, like I said, me and my auntie, we didn't know when we got to the state attorneys. That's how we found out. But basically, the two guys that were arrested for my son and my little cousin, they would never do a day in jail. They could never be charged with my son case. They would never be charged again for, with my little cousin, because my one cousin was threatened and said that um it wasn't them. So these individuals are walking free. I'm gonna I'll probably be giving y'all little bits and pieces of my story about my case, about my son, like how it happened, like pretty much like I want to tell y'all like pretty much like my story, like how it started when I sent my son out of town when he came back. I got an awesome story. I will, vet. Thank you so much. My daughter died. Oh, John, I'm just seeing this. My daughter died 20. Oh my God. So I kind of understand no matter how it happened, it changes you. Yes, John, I send my love to you, support, and I will definitely keep you in my prayers. And I'm sorry. Like it doesn't matter. Like my son' life was taken at the hands of somebody else, and it doesn't matter like how we lose a loved one or a family member. It's still there are scars there. There are still scars, and you still left out to deal with it in the memories and up and leading up into how it happened. No matter if it was they were sick, if they was in a car accident, um it doesn't matter, like drug addiction, it doesn't matter, like you still left the family. No matter what, you still left with the scars, you're left with the pain, you're left with all of that. And like a lot of people don't know, like even with me, my son, it's a lot that I'm left with. It's a lot of scars that I'm left with, but I push through and I keep going, you know, because I continue my faith, what keeps me going, my daughter having kids keep me going, my grandkids, they keep me going, and just working. And when I went to college, when I went back to school was a outlet for me. So if you're um unless you've been through it, you get what I'm saying. Like if you somebody that's dealing with a loss and you're not doing nothing, you have to find something. You have to keep being productive, because if you don't, that pain will engulf you. You will submerge in it. So you got to find something, stay active. You got to keep doing something. That's why I say when people was judging that mom, that when her baby, that mama is processing that. She's trying to process that. Do you understand? Like, even though it's going to be 19 years, I still have to process stuff. In my mind, I still have to process things. I still have to process as a mom. I still like it don't stop, because I still got to get more active with my son in case it's so many things that I have to do, because if I don't advocate for my son, the system already failed me. So the system not going to advocate for me. So I'm going to have to do it myself. I have to continue like with my son's organization. I have to do all that, because you know why I do it? I do it because I'm showing the people that's involved I'm not going to stop. I'm going to keep keep my son's memory alive. I'm gonna make sure I'm gonna keep my little cousin memory alive. So, you know, with my auntie, like, we got to keep going, even though we may feel like we want to give up, but giving up is never an option. I'm already left with the scars. I'm already left with that. So all I can do is hold on to what I had. His life was cut off at 18 years. So I don't have any memories moving forward. All I have from when he was born and until when his life was cut off at 18. A day after his 18th birthday. My little cousin had just turned 18 in March. So he turned 18 in March. My little cousin, he'll be 37. His birthday this month. So he turned 18 in March. My son turned 18 in April, and both of their lives was cut off a day after their 18th birthday. When I get into it, I really want to like tell y'all the story. Like, my son seen his death. My son seen what happened to him before it happened. So I'm gonna have to break it down. I'm gonna have to like my story. When I tell my story, I'm gonna have to break it down in like little sessions, like when I tell it, because I want to tell my story from the time from when I got insurance on him, when I didn't have the insurance, and when the Holy Spirit spoke to me. A lot of people don't believe God is real, but baby, when I tell y'all God is real, I got a story for y'all. And when I get a chance, I'll probably try to break it down in pieces that I have to really sit down and do it. But I really want to, from beginning to end of my story, and just really tell my story about my son and how everything led up. But I just want to get on here and just give y'all a little piece of that. I got 3 minutes to get in this building. I love everybody, and I'm praying for those of you that have lost someone, and I know you're left with the scars, but just stay active. Just keep active and keep their memory alive, and, you know, keep them in, keep talking about them. Just hold on to all the good memories. Try to pull the good out. Pull the good out, and don't allow no negativity to overshadow nothing. You know, just like me right now, I'm just really like in my feelings right now, because I know my son's birthday next month, and I know that my son's life was taken the day after his birthday. So like I said, I'm just really trying to process everything to like, okay, Gigi, you're gonna get it, you're gonna get through it. It's been 19 years. God ain't brought you this far. So yeah, I'm gonna do that. Tell what happened to your son and his memory. I'm gonna do that, Vet. I'm definitely gonna do that. Well, I'm gonna hop off of here. I got 2 minutes to get in this building, and you all have an awesome day today. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow in the morning. I'll be on here in the morning, so make sure y'all log in the morning. I'll be back. All right, y'all have a good one.